This shop's getting crowded with D4400 engines. Got one right here, and we got one right here. I'm definitely going to need a solution so that we have access to work on all sides of these engines. So today, we're going to modify this old engine stand to work with the D4400 engine. This has had something as big as a 6V71 Detroit on it. I'm sure it's fine, but I'm going to play it safe and beef this up a little bit. The first thing we need to do is modify these adapters. The bolt we need to go into the back of that block is too big to fit through here. So I'm going to have to maybe I could either modify these, which I might do, or make completely new adapters, which seems unnecessary to me. The second thing I need to do is clean up this surface here. Yes, we robbed a piece of pipe off of here because it was the right diameter for something else we were working on and we needed to make a tool. I think we're just going to make our lives easier here and drill out these adapters. That bolt is very close.
Yeah, I think this is just mushroomed here a little bit, and I think that's almost the right size right there.
I think you're right.
And this is smaller diameter. Because you can see in there, well, that one's plugged up with cob. You can see in there,
yeah,
that this hole is smaller than the diameter of that pipe. Let me go drill one out.
Okay. Right there. That's a good smelling cut, Noah.
Dang it, I bottomed out again.
Should get into that piece of wood that's underneath it.
I think it is.
There it is.
Yeah, no, I guess so.
Yeah, you bottomed out all right. It cut good. That's one of the ones you sharpened, Dad.
Yeah, I know.
You're pretty modest about that, I see.
There you are.
Gonna fit?
Yeah, I just got a burr.
I'll take that over on the grinder and clean it.
And then we'll run it through again.
Yeah.
And deburr it.
Let's do these other three. That's 4 of them. Should work perfectly. I'm going to get them over on the wire brush and clean them up. I might throw a few extra welds on here just for good measure. Not pretty, practical. Right, Tom? And I always loved my grandpa. Whenever he made something, it had to be able to be greased. So of course he put a Zerk in here. Go gadget cleaner. Oh yeah.
Okay, pull it out. I'll finish cleaning it.
After some thought and discussing all the things that we've put on this engine stand over the years, including the big pony motor for our 6-cylinder 8T motor grader, our Detroit diesels, big V8s, I think it's going to hold that engine just fine without any modifications. What do you think, Dad?
Let's bolt it up.
We decided that we're not going to put any grease in here. It's just going to make a mess. But yeah, that was Grandpa in a nutshell.
I think there were actually nights he didn't sleep because something didn't get greased.
I agree completely. There we go. Got your holes back here. Stick a bar or a handle in to turn it. And we've kind of fixed up the mounts, so what do you think? Should we get the crane out and
yes,
put that engine block on here?
Yes.
Now that our mounts have been modified, we're going to pull the adapter out of the stand, take it over there on the engine, and test fit and see if everything's going to work. Maybe something like that?
Yeah. It's made for a bigger bell housing.
Yeah. Well, but it'll work. We got enough room.
Even if we got 3 of them.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Might have to run to town and get bolts, though. Ouch, kitty. What are you doing? You just got to be in everything, don't you? Definitely a beautiful day, and Cleaner's out here doing what he does best. I'm going to run to town and get some bolts for our stand, hopefully the right size. Back from town, got what I needed. Forgot about the local tractor dealer right down the road. Really saved me a lot of time. We're going to go ahead and use the grade 8 hardware because why not? Trying to figure out how we can pick this. I don't know. We're always hesitant to lift on the studs coming out of the head. But we got the mounts all rigged up on here. Got good grade 8 bolts and everything. So shouldn't have any troubles there. And this is well heavy enough to hold all of that.
Gonna have enough. All right.
Oh yeah. That's good.
All right, let's get it over there. How much higher we gotta go? About there?
Yeah. Come on a little bit. A little bit higher, I think.
Higher?
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming up. I'll have to let it down as you twist a little bit. Otherwise it'll raise. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
A little more. A little more down.
I got it.
There. Yeah, we're off right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
So all the weight's on this stand.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Well, let's spin it. Let's see if our studs are going to clear.
Yeah, let's do.
And, yeah. The engine might spin me. No, it's spinning.
Come on, baby, clear. I think we're in business.
Yep, we're good.
Yeah, that's
Look at
nice.
all the junk falling out of there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Let's go ahead and lock this.
That's nice, man.
That worked out good.
You know what? Put it upright.
Well, I want to look in here, so
All right.
let's lock this right here is where it locks. Well, there it is.
Well, now I can go to work cleaning.
Yeah, cleaner time. Well, that stand looks like it's going to work perfect. Grandpa, you came through for us again. I want to continue stripping this block, and I'm going to start here with this fuel system. I'm going to get that off of there. We're probably going to use a lot of these components and probably going to use parts or all of this pump. And I just did this on 4G. I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to take the bolts out up here and see if I can take all this off in one unit. You might note that this has a taller fuel tower than the one on 4G. The one on 4G came to about right here, and it didn't have a gauge or any of that. I'm going to start with the hard ones, and they're down there. I think I can get an extension long enough to reach them from clear back here. That one is clear down in there. Hopefully you can see it. Oh yeah. Second one broke loose. Gotta have at least one or two that you can't get out with a socket. And if you're hearing a funny noise outside, sounds like a really angry woodpecker, that's just Dad with his needle scaler. Everything else is 9/16, but not that. Ah, there we go. That's what I need to take apart. There's a turnbuckle down in there. I need to get that pin out right there, and that should let this whole fuel pump loose. Like I'm playing another game of Operation in here. They put the cotter key on the inside where you can't get to it. But I got to it. There's that little pesky thing. Really didn't expect to be that much diesel still in this system. That's a really good sign. 4G was bone dry. While I'm over here, I'm going to go ahead and take the top off of this fuel tower. If nothing else, just out of curiosity. This is probably something I shouldn't have took off. Oh my gosh. Oh, those are the sock filters. Gross. But at least now I know I got to drain the rest of that diesel out of here. I think Dad's right. I'm going to go ahead and drain this and do this the smart way this time. I was under the assumption that it was already drained out because the lift pump and everything had been disconnected for so long. But I was way wrong. I just broke this loose already. I don't know if that's a water drain or if that's diesel. Might be a fuel water separator.
Looks like diesel.
Whoa. Well, feels like diesel.
Looks like red diesel.
Yeah. Filthy red diesel. Oh, it stinks. I took a bath. Look at the rust and dirt in there. That is not good for a fuel system by any stretch of the imagination. And everything that just spilled all over me looked the same way. Maybe they were knocking out an old seal out of the front and did that.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
I think there's clearance there because the bearing is actually on the engine.
Yes.
And this is just a through hole, and the seal is out here.
Yeah, I think you're right. That needle scaler does do a nice job.
Yeah,
in those corners like that.
Then watch, you go over it with this. You see it does a really nice job.
Yeah, it does.
Depending on how, if you want to get it, I mean, if you keep going, you can get it almost to bare metal.
Yeah. I'm always hesitant to do that. I don't know why. Rust, I guess. Because these studs go all the way through, and there's a nut on them on this side, and that's already off. I've really only got 4 more nuts to take off of here, and I can take this fuel tower off. And you would think I would remember this better than I do, because I just took all this stuff apart on 4G, but there's a few things that are a little different. So I'm going to take the fan off of here so I can get into that inspection cover over there. There it goes. Finally. I'm very excited to get this front cover off of this engine and see if this has the composite gears just like 4G did. These all look way better than they did on 4G. That's why I took it off, but it doesn't seem like I needed to go any further. Oh, what a bear cat. And I've decided I'm just going to wear everything I'm working on today. The next thing I want to do is get that oil pump off of there. We're definitely going to use it. If you recall, that one on 4G was in terrible shape and rusty. So I think this is going to be a lot better unit, but we'll take it apart. I'll take it off of here and we'll see. And like about everything on this machine, this has the fold over locks here, 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 here. And we have the screen up front there that we need to take down. I'll get all this off here and get this down. That way we can get this engine down on blocks. I can remove the flywheel, and I can remove the front cover. Thankfully, I got the seat back off of our old 936E. I used to keep things like this. If they weren't in terrible enough shape, they're great for sitting on the concrete when you're working on things. It's definitely pumping oil. That's a good sign. That did it. Kind of got to turn the engine a little bit, and I kind of just worked it a little bit with a screwdriver because this gear is up there in the camshaft, and that lets it loose. That gear will actually hold it up. To be completely honest, I have no idea what to expect here. There's only 2 bolts in this pulley, and this is welded on here, so I'll take those out and see if anything moves. Growing up and helping my grandfather out in the shop, he would often ask me to run and get the water pump pliers. Well, this is what he was talking about when he said water pump pliers. And let me show you why. For one, they can be adjusted almost infinitely to different sizes. And for another, they fit perfectly on the packing nut to adjust the packing for the water pump. And I know I'm taking out the whole unit. I know the belt's still on there, but I can't get this pulley loose to loosen it, so I'm just going to take it all off together. This belt is a Dayton 6B 1039. And before I go any further, I need to get the engine jacked up and blocked up in the middle, more central, so I can get access and remove the bell housing and the front cover. Well, that's not exactly what I had in mind, but no harm, no foul. Kind of landed on the blocks I had on the other side. I'll pick it up with a grain and set it properly this time. D4 engine recovery crew here. There we go. Should spin when I get it up there. There we go. Ugh. Well, that was not fun. There we go. So this morning I was walking out the door, and I have my boots by the door, and I have two pairs of boots that I like to wear out here. My steel toes and my regular cowboy boots. And I actually like those the best, they're the most comfortable. But today I said, I don't need the steel toes. I'm not going to be doing anything that's that bad. I should have thought about it. Anytime I'm in the shop, I should be wearing them. And for the record, nothing happened. Nothing fell on me. I was nowhere near it when it toppled over. But it did make me think that next time, maybe I should wear my steel toe boots. I had forgotten that when we had blocked this up, we had points here, here, across the front, nice and stable. But we had only one point of contact in the back. And when I jacked up the front to pick it up and move the blocks, yeah, it just rolled right over. Dumb on my part. Not a great way to block it. I'm very, very happy with how it's blocked right now. It shouldn't go anywhere. Now I got to clean up this mess that I made. And please, don't show any of that last stuff I just told you to my wife. Please, please, please. Ugh, took a chunk out of the floor. Let's not let the cleaner see that. Perfect. Okay, everything's cleaned up. No harm, no foul. Remember, don't tell the cleaner, don't tell my wife. Please, 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 please. Back to work. I'm going to get this front cover off of here, at least take the bolts out, and I'm still thinking about how I'm going to pull this pulley. I am not at all sure what to expect here. If this pulley is part of this shaft, it looks like it's pressed on here, and then there was two bolts holding it. That's all that was in there. Yeah, we all knew exactly where this was going. Actually appears that there's no seam between this pulley and right here, what I think is the end of the crankshaft. Probably should be the end of the crankshaft. So, yeah. I don't know. The way the other one came off is I came out after we had heated it, left it overnight, let it cool, stuck a bar underneath of there, and it popped right off. I just took the puller off of here, and I noticed something, and much as my day has gone, this is incredibly stupid, and I don't know what I'm thinking today. I'm just off today. But, yeah. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? I broke this pulley for no reason. I get so mad at myself sometimes. I got in a hurry. I didn't think it through. This thing just wobbled right off of there. And that's not what I needed to pull on anyway. I'm going to need Brutus over here anyway for the flywheel, so I'm going to get it over here and get this nut off of here. This nut's had a lot of chisel work done on it. And yeah, that's not me for once. I didn't damage that. Well, that took it right off. I knew it would. Now that I got that nut off there, I'm going to see if I can get this pulley off of here correctly. I do not know what I was thinking before. That flange covered it up. I had just assumed they had welded that straight to the crankshaft because, well, I've seen stuff like that before. I haven't done stuff like that before, but that's what I was expecting, and it obscured everything in here, and I had a lapse of judgment, as I have had this whole day. It's one of those days I probably should have just done something else. Finally, something going easy. I know, it's already broke. I figured, what the heck, I had the puller sitting right here, and I've already heated it, so here we go. Nice. Wish I hadn't damaged that pulley. That was seriously unfortunate. Well, there it is. Now I gotta find that chunk I threw in the trash, because I think I can braze that back together, but we do have the one from 4G that's fine. Get that woodruff key off of there. And the front cover, I've got all the bolts out, so it should come off, hopefully. I've been excited to look inside of here and have a gander at what the gears are going to look like on the front of this thing. So 4G had one composite gear on the camshaft. I'm betting this will be the same. It's a 41, so they're just a couple of years apart. Ha! Very interesting. Dad has 4G's cam over here, wired up to the shelves so it won't tip over. He's got it kind of cleaned up, but I wanted to show you that this has a composite disc on here. And if you look right there, it says Formica. And there's the part number. So there's a gear underneath of there. You might be able to see it. That gear is steel. This one is definitely composite. Back before we got 7J, we had opened that up, and I had found that composite gear in there, and decided to look for one of these updated sets. And it has the 2 steel timing gears on here, and this was going to go on to 4G. As you can imagine, I was pleasantly surprised to open this up and see 2 steel gears in here, which means that either this tractor was sent with the factory for that, or it had composite gears in here that either failed or they upgraded at some point. But all these timing gears are steel. Now that's good news, and that does leave me with an extra set of these gears, but we still don't know what's in 5T. It looks like this unit has the thrust bearing up here on the front of the engine just like 4G. Well, at least we ended on a very positive outcome. On the next video, I'm going to get that flywheel off the back, get this thing rolled over, and let's see what the bearings look like on the crankshaft. I do want to thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one. And remember what we talked about earlier. Don't say anything to anybody.